The Jesuits then went on a rampage once they were suppressed by the Pope. And you've heard the term Illuminati. The Illuminati organization was actually sprung up, and they were made up primarily of Jesuits.
So we have the monarchical powers in Europe. We have the Rothschilds, who are the bankers to the Pope and also the bankers to the Crown of England.
Right, and bankers to the United States. Because you got to remember that the U.S. banking system, as it stands right now, is nothing more than an arm of the Bank of England.
The Hermetic traditions provided the spiritual inspiration for many secret societies in the Middle Ages, and its influence can be discerned in both speculative Freemasonry and Rosicrucianism.
But there was a certain man, a certain particular individual man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery, which then is using satanic means and methods of controlling people.
The Roman Catholic system has their own purpose, is to infiltrate, to penetrate all the areas of life where the Roman Catholic can have control and access for the coming world government.
We are in the midst of a cosmic struggle between good and evil. There is no neutral ground. If we are not fighting in the kingdom of Christ, then we have been duped into the kingdom of Satan.
In a spiritual context, the Vatican means the divining serpent. And when you look at in a human point of view, it's clear from history that the Jesuit order, which is the military arm of the Catholic Church, that they control the white pope.
I was in Chicago years ago, and I was canvassing as a call porter, selling Bible readings from Home Circle. And we come to one great big mansion. But I went up the door, and I was pretty sure this fellow was Catholic, so I gave him the Catholic canvas. And he invited me in, and then...
Understand this, that everything in life is religious. So this idea that any organization or anything you do can be secular is a myth, okay? So the idea that there's a secular government, that's a myth. Communist government, which basically believes there is no God, and then people think that's completely secular. No. Their God is Satan.
Your taxes ultimately go to the Vatican. If you really want to get down to the brass tacks, right? The IRS collects on behalf of Federal Reserve System. They take that money, ship it across the Atlantic to England. England then ships it to the Vatican.
And for those of you who have heard or seen or read about the Jesuit agenda for the Seventh-day Adventist Church, that is called neurological linguistic programming. It's on television every day. It's in the news every day. It's in the presidential conference every day. It's in every book.
There are two doctrines that define very well these dangerous goal of the Roman Catholic institution.
55 million abortions throughout the world. This was before drugs became a pandemic in the United States, before pornography, before child abuse, before homosexuality and all those other perversions that are spreading like a melanoma cancer throughout the world.
By 1540, the Jesuit order was established. It was established for two basic reasons. It was established, number one, to destroy everything that the Protestant Reformation stood for.
The key to the pagan origins of Freemasonry lies in the semi-mythical story of the construction of King Solomon's Temple in Jerusalem. This building was regarded as the repository of ancient occult wisdom and symbolism by both the Freemasons and the Knights Templar.
As soon as he got in, he turned the key in the door, and I said, wait a minute, what am I getting into? He opened another door into a great big mammoth parlor and a great big mammoth dining room with double doors in between, and all seated around the whole business.
One is called the doctrine of the apostolic succession, and that is dealing with the papacy. And the other is the doctrine, the temporal power, and that is dealing with world government.
And bewitched, that means programmed, used, manipulated, directed the people of Samaria.
There is a worldwide conspiracy. It is a spiritual conspiracy, and that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers in high places. And so the princes and the kings of the world are in a conspiracy against God and his anointed. So that is a truth that we have to understand.
To have power put in the hands of a few and the destruction of the middle class. So we see the power of the Jesuit order working to reestablish papal authority and supremacy in this earth.
I would always notice it used to say, redeemable in silver from the United States Treasury. But if you've examined a dollar bill lately, you will notice it no longer says that. Instead, it calls it a Federal Reserve note.
Early Masons historians regarded Hiram Abiff as a symbolic representative of Osiris, the Egyptian god of death and rebirth.
They started talking to me. They tried to get me to be one of them and offered me every kind of conceivable opportunity that you could think of.
The idea behind our Bill of Rights is that those Bill of Rights is simply a list of rights. People think, they point to the Constitution, they say, okay, we have constitutional rights. Kind of a misnomer. No, those are God-given rights. The Constitution simply says, by the way, these are some of your God-given rights, and the government, it's actually a limit on what the government can do. The government cannot infringe on those rights.
Now, I want you to think about the coming one world global religion. I want you to apply them to the Catholic Church. I want you to apply them to whatever church you desire to apply it to that has a hierarchical system, and you will see that they fit.
In Royal Ark Masonry, the candidate for initiation is informed that the sacred name of God is really Jabulan. This name has been deciphered as a coded reference to the two major gods of the Middle Eastern fertility cultus, Osiris and Baal.
These principles I'm telling you now are not taught in school. And so they don't want this to be known. People they're graduating from high school, they're graduating from college, they're graduating from law school, and they don't know these basic principles.
They said we're going to take over America, and we've already got it fixed, so know how in the world can they escape becoming under our authority.
If we didn't love you here, we would not say these things to you. Please wake up. Good night, and God bless you all.